There's someone in your life who controls you with nothing. They don't yell, they don't argue, they just look at you a certain way, say one sentence, and suddenly you're explaining yourself, talking too fast, tripping over your own words, trying to prove something they never even asked you to prove. They barely speak. You do all the work for them. And here's what keeps you up at night. They're not smarter than you. You know this. You've seen their decisions. You've watched them fumble through life. And yet somehow, every single time, they walk away with the win, while you're still putting together the perfect argument in your head. This isn't luck. This isn't charisma. This is a game you were never taught how to play. And every time you open your mouth, you're losing it. Machiavelli understood that deception doesn't mean lying. It means controlling what others see. And the easiest way to control what others see is to show them nothing. A blank face, a measured pause, eyes that observe but never react. This drives people insane. They can't read you. And what they can't read, they can't manipulate. You become a mirror. They throw words at you and only see themselves reflected back. Meanwhile, you're collecting everything. Their insecurities, their tells, the way their voice shifts when they're lying, the way they fidget when they're unsure. You see it all because you're not busy performing. You're watching, and the person who watches always has the advantage over the person who performs. Silence isn't the absence of communication. It's the most aggressive form of it. When you refuse to speak, you force others to fill the void. And when people fill voids, they expose themselves, they overexplain, they backtrack, they reveal what they were trying to hide. Watch any negotiation. The amateur speaks first, defends their position, justifies their ask. The professional states their terms and goes quiet. That silence becomes pressure. It sits on the other person's chest until they crack and offer more than they intended. They negotiate against themselves. All because someone understood that an empty room is louder than a scream. Machiavelli saw this play out in the courts of Italy. The men who talked their way into power always talked their way back out of it. The men who held their tongues held their positions. Most people are so uncomfortable with silence they will say anything to escape it. That desperation is a hole in their armor, and you don't need a sword to walk through it. Reactions are currency. The moment you react, you hand someone power over you. They know what bothers you. They know where to push. But the person who absorbs provocation like stone, absorbs rain, becomes untouchable. You can't fight someone who refuses to engage on your terms. You can't rattle someone who won't give you the satisfaction of seeing them rattle. That person you can't figure out, the one who seems unbothered by everything, they're not emotionless. They just learned that showing emotion to the wrong people is handing them a weapon. Think about the last time someone got under your skin. They didn't do it with logic. They did it by triggering a reaction. And the moment you reacted, you lost. Not because you were wrong, because you showed them you could be moved. And anything that can be moved can be controlled. Most people think charisma means being interesting. It doesn't. It means being interested. The most magnetic people in any room are not the ones talking about themselves. They're the ones who ask you one question and then shut up. They hold eye contact while you speak. They nod slowly. And by the end of the conversation, you feel like you've known them for years, even though they told you almost nothing. You gave them your secrets. They gave you nothing. And you walked away feeling good about it. This isn't connection. This is extraction. You thought you were bonding. You were being studied. And the information you handed over for free will be used in ways you'll never see coming. Machiavelli called this the art of learning without revealing. The fox survives, not because it's stronger than the lion, but because it sees the traps the lion walks right into. The pattern repeats throughout history. The ones who fall talk too much. They make promises they can't keep. They reveal alliances that should stay hidden. They react to insults when they should smile and remember. The ones who rise move in silence. They strike only when the odds are already in their favor. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, the game is already over. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few ever know what you are. That gap is where power hides. The man who shows everything has nothing left to threaten with. The man who shows nothing could be holding anything. And the fear of what he might be holding is more powerful than any card he could actually play. In any conversation, the person asking questions controls the frame. The person answering is being led. Most people love to answer because it makes them feel important. So they follow wherever the questions take them, not realizing they're being walked off a cliff. If you want to outsmart anyone, become obsessed with asking and allergic to answering. Deflect with questions. Respond to questions with questions. Watch how quickly the power shifts. The one who talks is performing. The one who listens is hunting. Next time someone tries to pull information from you, flip it. Ask them why they want to know. Ask them what they would do in your situation. Watch them stumble. Watch them suddenly realize they're the one being interrogated. That confusion on their face is the moment you took control. Speed exposes you. When someone insults you and you fire back immediately, you look rattled. When someone makes an offer and you respond instantly, you look desperate. But when you pause, when you let the silence stretch just a beat longer than comfortable, you project something most people never will. Control. It tells them their words don't dictate your rhythm. Nothing they do can rush you. Nothing they say can pull a reaction out of you that you didn't choose to give. That pause is where power lives. Practice it. When someone asks you something, don't answer immediately. Let 1 second pass, then 2. Watch how they shift. Watch how they start to wonder what you're thinking. That discomfort is them realizing they're not in control of this interaction, and they have no idea what to do about it. There's a reason the most dangerous people are always described the same way. Calm, measured, hard to read. It's never the loud one you need to worry about. The loud one is burning energy trying to convince you of something. The quiet one already knows something you don't. They're not trying to win the conversation. They're playing a longer game. One you won't see until it's too late. Machiavelli knew that the appearance of power is often more useful than power itself. A man who looks unshakable will rarely be shaken. A man who looks like he knows something will be treated as if he does. Perception is reality. And silence shapes perception better than any words ever could. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to argue to win. You don't need to prove yourself to people who already made up their minds. You need to become someone who can't be read. Someone who treats every word like a bullet, never wasted, never fired without purpose. The loudest person in the room is performing. The quietest one is calculating. And when the dust settles, it's never the performer who walks away with the prize. It's the one who waited, watched, and moved only when moving guaranteed victory. The next conversation you walk into, try something. Say less than you want to. Wait longer than feels comfortable before responding. Ask more than you answer. Watch what happens to the other person. Watch them scramble to fill the silence. Watch them tell you things they didn't plan to say. Watch them walk away wondering why you're so hard to figure out. And understand for the first time that you've been giving away your power for years, one word at a time. The game was always rigged. The house was always winning. But Machiavelli left the blueprint for those willing to see it. The only question is whether you'll keep playing by their rules or finally start writing your own.